Hello everybody, this is Trina. I am doing card number 3 today with the Bunches of Love stamp set, and today I'm going to be using the Oh What Fun paper pack from our collection from Close to My Heart. So today this is the last thank you card in this little group that I needed to make, and I am like, my mojo is like on a roll, which is amazing. I love it when that happens. So it gives me a lot of videos to edit and produce, and lots of photos to take, and lots of digital work to do, but I love it being able to get my groove on and just go at it. Like, I just love how it just flows naturally. It's a wonderful feeling. So to start off with, I'm going to trim off the branding strip, and then I'm trying to figure out which direction I want this card to go. I have already made 2 cards with this stamp set, so I just left the junk, okay, it's not junk, it's crafty junk, but it's my crafty junk. All of my stuff, my crafty stuff, all over my desk, and around the camera area you get to see a small amount of what's actually there. I have papers and paper packs and cardstock and stamps and sequins and pieces from old cards, and sometimes I actually clean up my space before every last project, but this time was not one of those times. So I'm working in a mess, but I know what's where and I know what's what, and I've still got some mojo going, so this will be exciting to see what comes next. This is the cut apart sheet I just trimmed up and cut out a piece. It just kind of caught my eye in the cut apart sheet, and it seemed perfect for a horizontal card. So that's what I'm going to go with. I didn't really want the square, or the square angles of the corners, so I decided to go ahead and trim it down and just leave a border on around the white part in the center. And I honestly had no idea. I mean, I had a kind of bits and pieces of ideas, and I was just trying to put it together for this card, much like the last 2 cards, not really knowing where I was going with it until I got there, which is it's sometimes that's part of the process. It's just exciting to let your energy, your creative energy flow. And yeah, I don't have any like thank you or thanks other than this one here, like as far as dies. So I do tend to use this one a lot. I do have my die cutting machine, and I do plan on cutting some out. Then I have to find a place to store it and make sure it's the right size. And with this thanks, I can use it as thanks, or I can chop off the S like I did in my last 2 cards and make it thank and then add U on there. And the Bunches of Love stamp set has a U that works great. So that's, I don't know, this particular die gets a lot of use, and has been for the past, I don't know, since I am a Close to My Heart consultant, I love to send cards to my customers, and thanks is, I thank you is very, for me it's a very genuine thank you. I love showing my gratitude for them choosing me to order through, and I really do appreciate it. It does, it does help pay the bills, and helps get more crafty items for me to share with you guys, and I really do appreciate it. I also love hearing that you guys are inspired by what I create. So That's part of why I love to say thank you. So I'm practicing thankfulness every day is kind of one of my habits that I want to grow. So I'm using the gold foil with the from Close to My Heart with the Garden Greens die set from Tim Holtz, and these dies turn out perfect. They're very dainty, so they don't add too much gold. They add gold, but they don't add. They're not like a bulky gold, if that makes sense. It's very dainty. So I keep saying the word dainty. So I kind of have my idea coming, all my different ideas coming together. And I think, okay, so this is the one where I cut out the word thanks out of white cardstock, I think 5 times. And I'm going to stack them together. So I am going to go ahead and skip through this. And that is my last one. And I'm going to get that out of my die. And then I actually do not remember what happens next. I think I end up sticking them together, or I just end up I don't know if I decide to do that. Oh, yep, I do. So I'm going to kind of show you what I do with the first one, and then I'll go ahead and fast forward through it, so you guys don't have to watch me do all of them. So some people they cut out fun foam with their die, and that pops up their sentiment. It gives it just a little bit of thickness so that it kind of is eye-catching. And I don't have any fun foam, so I cut these out, 5 of them, and is it 5 or 6? I can't remember. 5 or 6, doesn't matter, really. It depends on how deep or how thick you want the die to be. You add as many pieces as you want, and then you just glue them together. So, okay, maybe I won't skip through this since I'm talking so much. So you add all the pieces up together, you glue them on top of each other, and once you want to make sure you line them up, because the top die you can do in any color that you want, whatever color, or metallics, or whatever. That way you can put on the top, and that pops that up. I've only got one more die here, so I guess I won't skip through that for you guys. I will show you once I get it up to the desired thickness just how thick it actually ends up being. I was surprised that it ended up being that thick, but I actually love how it turned out. And I've also seen some crafters like offset their top layer. There it is, there's the thickness there. They offset their layer, their top layer, and give like a shadow effect on the back side of or beside their sentiment or their die. But I wanted to go just straight on for this one. I haven't tried the offset yet, so we'll see. We'll see if I do that. So I decided I like the oval, but I kind of want something like leaves other than just gold, something to pop up the oval. So I'm looking through the ink pad colors that coordinate with the Oh What Fun paper pack, and on the back of every branding strip for Close to My Heart, they have the colors listed. And so I'm just going through and kind of seeing which colors I want to use for the papers, for the stamp that I'm going to stamp. And if I remember, I'm pretty picky on this one. I really would like if I use the pink tones, I would really like them to match. So none of them matched perfectly for me, and I don't know if it's because that wasn't a Close to My Heart white daisy cardstock or what, but they just weren't where I wanted them to be. So I decided to try Lagoon, and I like the Lagoon. The Lagoon came out the perfect color. There we go. That's the description. So now I'm snapping my fingers trying to figure out what I want to do next. When Mojo hits or comes home, or I find him, or whatever you want to call it, my brain goes really pretty quickly. And then when I have to stop because I'm not sure where I'm going next, the energy just flows right through my fingers. Sometimes I tap, sometimes I snap, sometimes I hum. It kind of all depends. But I was pretty quick to get moving on the paper. So I decided to find my white cardstock, which is in my pile of papers and stamps and bling and cardstock that I have over there on my desk that you guys probably can't see. So I had to dig through that just a little bit to find my white cardstock. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp the Bunches of Love stamp, the lined stamp part of it, onto the white cardstock. Here we go. That took me a little bit longer than I thought to find that paper. So the Bunches of Love stamp set is on my Close to My Heart website. It's hellotarina.closetomyheart.com, and I will leave the link to that in the description box below. So I decided to do 2 of them because I didn't want to just do one bunch. It wasn't quite big enough. The stamp set wasn't quite big enough to adequately show from behind the oval when it was centered underneath of it. So that's when I decided to do 2 stamps, and I'm going to fussy cut both of them pretty loosely. I'm not always on or in focus or in the frame, which I realized that, so I fixed it, but I definitely I only sped this up twice or 2 times the speed, so it's actually, it doesn't take very long to cut these out once you've had a little bit of practice. So I went ahead and cut both of these out, and I think I actually trim up a couple of things too. Sometimes I get a little close to the circles or the flowers, just so y'all know. I'm not perfect at this by any means. I'm doing it very quick and I just do some squiggly lines and stuff like that up by the leaves to make it, just kind of mimic the shape of the leaf. And the same with the flower, and most of the time it doesn't turn out how I would like it, but I can't be that picky when I'm on a time frame. I mean, I would love to just have it cut out perfectly, which I totally could do with my cameo, but I just didn't have it ready. You have to make a cut file and all that kind of stuff, and I didn't really want to go there. So this is what it will look like once I've got both of the pieces. And then I'm just trimming these up, the little gold leaves up, just to kind of see where I want them to go. It kind of looks like a wreath, but it's not really a wreath. And I am not sure where, how, or why I thought of putting the leaves around it like this. I don't know. It just entered my mind and stuck. So, and I think that's kind of what we call inspiration. It just settles in your brain and it feels right. So that's kind of what I went with. I do fiddle around with these leaves a lot because I don't want it to look like they're all going in the same direction. If that makes sense. I've done a wreath where they all went in the same direction, and it definitely looked like a wreath. And I didn't really want this to look like a wreath. I wanted, the sprigs of gold, and it just kind of added a pop of color because there's already so much color, but it was more of a kind of a neutral color, really. With the metallic, so I kind of liked that. So now I'm gonna kind of commit and stick things down. I don't know that I actually put them where I should have put them, but they're there and they're staying. So I don't even know. Yeah, I was gonna do the leaves, and then I decided, you know what, I should probably use my my foam tape first. And what I probably should have done was just not taken that off yet, but I did. It would have made adhering those leaves much easier, but. And here I noticed that the florals weren't exactly straight. And then I pulled it up, started pulling it up, and it started to tear, and I was like, nope, not happening, it's just gonna stay, I don't want to ruin the whole thing. So I went ahead and just decided to be okay with my placement and just go ahead and start adding my leaves. Now these also would have been a lot easier to place if I had trimmed off all of those little stems up to the leaves, because I could put the leaves wherever I want them to be and the stems wouldn't be getting in the way. But no, I learned that sometimes, and I remember that sometimes, and then I forget. So, yep, that's just me. I'm kind of crazy like that sometimes. I think we all are at some point or another. So I'm just adding on the leaves in different places, and again, this card is pretty easy to make. I mean, it didn't take a whole lot of work, so that was something that was nice about this card. It looks like it took a lot of work, but it actually didn't. I keep trying to turn that one the opposite direction, and it's not working. Like, it's not. I don't really want to turn it the way of the wreathy kind of feeling, but I can't remember which way I do it either, so. Well, I guess I do it the wreathy way. And then I grabbed another leaf that I found just laying around and just decided to add it in there. So, and I'm gonna add on my thanks, and I think that will almost be it. I have sequins, I think, that I add, and then I think that's it. Oh, besides the envelope. I've decided I'm just going to do, I'm making these cards to send anyways, so I'm just going to make a coordinating envelope when I when I create them. So again, with the sequins, the loose sequins from Close to My Heart, this is the gold pack. And I just sprinkle it on there, and I don't know what it is, but I'm always going from right to left and at a diagonal, and it always seems to work out great. I'm not sure. It just came to my attention that I don't ever go from left to right diagonal, and I'm not entirely certain why. It's very interesting. And usually I have a theory about things like that, but I have no clue why. I don't know. I really don't. And thinking back on other cards that I've done, I really like to go from right to left on my cards. So this sequin pack has, like, I want to say 1, 2, 3, possibly 6 different types of sequins. Like they've got a warm gold, cool tone gold, a foil gold, a like a iridescent clear, and stars, and they've got clear, and they've got them in tiny sequins. And so that is something that I didn't realize was going to be in the sequin pack, that there was going to be so many different options just in gold. So I was excited about that. One thing you want to make sure you do before you adhere down your front is make sure that your fold is at the top, or where you want it to be, because I did do that the other day. I folded it on the wrong, or adhered it on the wrong fold, and I was just like, oops. So that's something to take into consideration. Here I'm going ahead and doing the envelope, and this is the last part of this process video. So I am going to go ahead and say my goodbyes. I hope you guys are inspired to be creative with the new Close to My Heart products, and just create cards in general. I hope you like the finished product, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!